Donald Trump just triggered the largest bond crisis in the world. And if there is a crisis in the bond market, suddenly there is going to be a crisis everywhere. There is going to be a government crisis, a stock market crisis, and it can possibly take down with it the rest of the global economy. I want you to look at the 30-year treasuries. Instantly, you see that the yields on them have actually increased by 1% since September 2024, and they have crossed 5%. Now, this is not just unique to the United States. If you look at the yields, at the bond yields of the UK, you will see that over more than a year, they have crossed from 4.3% to 5.5%. So the bond crisis in the UK is a lot worse than in the United States. Now, let's go to another major economy, which is Germany. It's one of the largest economies in the world. And even though that inflation in Germany typically has been extremely low, you can see that the bond yields have increased from 2.4% to 3.5%. Now, these are the largest economies in the world. But this is not just unique to the UK, the European countries. Even if we go to as far as Japan, and Japan historically had very low bond yields. Why? Because there has been deflation in Japan. And even though inflation in Japan has already cooled down, the inflation that happened since 2022, you can see that the 30-year bonds have also crossed 4%, which is something completely unusual. We haven't seen anything like that in decades. Let's look at the French bonds. We are seeing the exact same thing, that the trend is very clear. What if I told you this is just the beginning? When bond yields across the globe are rising, it is sending one simple message, that investors no longer trust the debt market. And if the debt market is going to collapse, you have to understand one simple thing, that the debt market is basically the foundation of the entire economy. So this kind of crisis that we're seeing here isn't just happening just in the United States or simply in the UK. This debt crisis is happening all across the globe. Literally in every major economy in the world. And what makes this situation way worse is that central banks have been lowering interest rates, but bond yields are rising on the other side. Now, one of the main jobs that the Federal Reserve does, or the Bank of England in the UK, or Bank of Japan in Japan, or any other central bank, is that they lower down the interest rate so that they control the cost of borrowing. And what central banks since 2024 have been doing? They've been lowering interest rates. The Federal Reserve lowered down interest rates. The Bank of England has lowered down interest rates. European countries have been doing that. So we were expecting that the yields on the bonds will slowly start coming down so that the cost of borrowing across the entire economy will go down. And we're not just talking about the cost of borrowing for governments, but rather also the cost of borrowing for people, the cost of you taking a mortgage, the cost of you taking an auto loan. But instead, the absolute opposite is happening. On one side, the central banks that have the most power in the economy lowering down interest rates, but the yields on the other side are rising. And that means that central banks, not just in the United States, but all across the globe, are literally losing the grip over the economy. Why? Because they're losing the grip over their currencies. And that is by far the greatest threat that is happening to our economy today. And this is not just happening to long-term government bonds, but rather even shorter bonds. Take a look at the UK 10-year government bonds. What do you see? They have also crossed from 3.5% to as high as 4.8%. So even in the short run, investors are looking at the British economy and they're like, we are expecting a higher inflation. Look at the 10-year US Treasuries. You see the exact same thing. They have spiked from 3.6% to 4.5%. The same thing is happening with the European bonds. Now, there is one fundamental important question. Why exactly that is happening? First of all, investors or the global economy is realizing one simple fact. We are entering an era of high inflation. Now, over the last 40 years, over the course of my life and your life, if you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, we have seen very low prices. We have seen very low cost of borrowing. But now investors realize one simple fact. That no longer is going to happen. Especially the era of low-cost borrowing that happened after the 2008 financial crisis. We are not going back to it. The fact that 30-year government bonds are rising to above 5% all across the globe is simply sending one simple message to the rest of the world that we are not going back to low ultra rates, but rather inflation will be consistently high. So from now onwards, you have to prepare yourself for a completely different economy. An economy where the cost of borrowing, an economy where prices will be rising by at least 5% in the long run. And even if you look at the short-term treasuries, we've seen the exact same thing. Secondly, there are massive government deficits that nobody knows how to solve. So the United States has the ability to borrow a lot of money because everybody wants to invest in the US economy. But now these deficits are not just in the US, they're also in the UK. Like the debt to GDP ratio in the UK is also around 100%. In France, it's much more than 100%. In some nations, it's 120%, 130%. And what makes this debt so different is that all these governments borrow all of this money when interest rates were ultra low. So when interest rates were about 0% or 1%, they borrowed so much money. Now, ideally, how it works, when you're borrowing money very cheaply, you're supposed to pay back that money. But because none of these governments have actually paid a dime of that debt, they kept refinancing that debt. So the moment the time comes in and the bank tells you, listen, France, listen, the US, listen, the UK, that it's time for you to pay back that debt, these governments simply borrowed money from other investors and paid off the previous investors. But because interest rates have increased, that means that now the cost of borrowing the debt has increased. So essentially you can say that all these governments that borrowed so much money when interest rates were so low are now paying such high interest rates for all of that money that they have borrowed. And suddenly they realize that on the other side, they have also lowered down taxes. So all these governments are not making any money or whatsoever to pay back these debts. So essentially we can say that all Western governments right now are at risk of a default, are at risk of bankruptcy. Now, what makes the entire situation a lot worse is that there is massive AI spending. So corporations are borrowing a lot of money because everybody wants to win the AI race. So we know that every company today realizes that whoever controls AI is going to control the world. So this race isn't between just US companies such as Google, Amazon, Oracle, but rather this race is also between the United States and China. So everybody is like, whoever can build the data centers the fastest, whoever can build the biggest data centers, whoever can build the best or the most advanced AI is going to take over or control the future of the world. And that's why these companies are not ashamed of borrowing tens of billions of dollars and spending that money to build these AI data centers. Now, here's the question. Because now there is so much debt in the world, and now everybody needs to refinance all of that debt. On one side, you have governments who are trying to attract all of that capital to refinance their debts. On the other side, you have these massive, large corporations, which are literally much wealthier and much larger than most of the nations around the globe, are also trying to attract capital. So both of them are fighting for the exact same pool of capital. And because there is a limited pool of capital, each of them are actually offering a higher interest rate in order to attract that capital. One of them does not want to default, and the other wants to win the AI race. And that is leading to much higher yields. But here's the most important question. Is there a possibility that anytime soon the yields are going to go down? Unfortunately, the answer is 100% no, because yields won't go down unless the global debt is going to go down. Unless investors will realize that all these governments are on a sustainable path to pay back their debts, they're not going to lower down their demands. Why would I invest in debt when I realize that this government is actually not making enough money from taxes to pay me back? So when the risks are rising, I'm expecting a much higher return. The most important question is that what exactly this means for you, because you will be affected by this. Now, first of all, higher cost of capital means that the higher cost of business, and that leads to higher prices. Every business in the world, whether it's Apple, Amazon, you name it, they produce products, and they borrow a lot of money. And if you don't believe me, just pull out their financial statements and you'll see that they have a lot of debts. And now, when the cost of capital rises, that means that the cost of servicing these debts will become much more expensive, and these companies will pass down these costs to you, which means that we can expect higher prices in the future or even right now. Secondly, lower government spending on you. When the government is worried about paying off its debts and interest payments rise so much, what do you think is going to be the priority of the government? Is to pay you, is to help you, is to build that bridge that they haven't built for the last 20 years, or to pay the interest payments in order to avoid bankruptcy? Of course, they will avoid that bridge. They will avoid that basic infrastructure. They will avoid whatever payments they have to do in order not to default on their loans. Because if you default on your loans, suddenly the entire government is going to collapse. Thirdly, higher cost of mortgages. And that basically applies to everything. Even you as an individual, you borrow money to buy a car, you borrow money to buy a house, you borrow money to go to college, you borrow money for all sorts of things. But when the pool of capital is shrinking because two huge players are fighting for that, on one side the government, on the other side corporations, very little money is left for you. So when very little money is left for you and everybody fighting for that, that means that the cost of borrowing money, even for individuals, will rise. So you can expect higher mortgage rates. Fourthly, inflation will rise. One of the main reasons that investors are actually expecting higher yields is because there is global inflation happening all across the globe. There is the crisis in the Middle East. There is the crisis in Europe. There is the crisis who knows where. All of that is destroying the global logistics. All of that is leading to higher energy prices. All of that is making the cost of doing business much higher. That's why you have to prepare yourself mentally that the next 5, the next 10, the next 15 years are going to be fundamentally different from the last 15 years. Why? Because now we are going to live in a period of very high inflation. Another question that you might be interested in is that how is that going to impact the stock market? Because you are investing in this economy. If you're not investing in this economy, you are losing 100%. This is by far going to lead to one of the largest wealth inequalities in the world. Because we have now two groups of people. One group of people who are not investing. That means that every single year they are getting poorer significantly faster because we are living in this high inflation era. On the other side, we have people who are investing and their wealth is growing faster than inflation. And that means that the wealth inequality from now onwards is going to drastically rise, drastically get much bigger. But here's the problem. If I'm sitting on a lot of money and I'm investing and I have the bond market that pays me 5% guaranteed, I don't have to do anything. Here's my $1 million. I can invest it in the bond market. I can get my 5% guaranteed, no questions asked. Why would I even invest in the stock market? If the stock market is not going to offer me much higher than 5%, if the stock market is going to tell me, oh, you can get 5% from this investment, why would I invest there? Because with stocks, I'm taking risks. With bonds, I'm not taking any risks or whatsoever, and I can still make 5%. And that's why you will be seeing a lot of defaults. You will be seeing a lot of bankruptcies because investors are no longer interested to loan money to businesses that can actually offer higher returns. If I'm going to go to the stock market and I want to invest in businesses, I'm expecting businesses to offer me at least 10%, 15%, 20%, because with the stock market, I'm taking a huge risk. And that's why the era of where you can just blindly invest in stocks, expecting these companies will keep rising because they have access to cheap money, that era is no longer going to happen. You no longer can blindly invest. Now it's time for you to use your brain, to use your analytical skills and start evaluating businesses, looking for great businesses, reading financial statements, analyzing them, finding valuations. And if you want a step-by-step strategy on how to find these valuations, on how to find great investments, if you want to know what are the best stocks you should be buying right now, then join the Investing Academy. And if you join the Investing Academy today, you will get a 67% off on the annual plan. The link is in the description of this video.